Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Women's Maximum Fitness Podcast. This is a bonus episode that I am going to do essentially about anti-aging, just some tips that I have for any of you who are trying to slow down the aging process. So I have been sort of collecting some tips over the last year or so and just wanted to put them together and share with you. Let me preface by saying that hormones do play a big role in aging, and I have not done any like hormone testing or hormone replacement therapy at this point. Definitely something that I would like to look into a little bit, but I know that my hormones have always been sort of off. I was diagnosed with endometriosis back in 2001 when I had surgery for it. I've always had a really painful period, so some sort of estrogen dominance going on with that. The only time that I've really had like basic hormones tested, I've had it a couple of times over the last 5 or 10 years. My overall testosterone is a little bit low, but not low enough where my doctors had said that they wanted to, give me anything for it that wouldn't essentially turn me into a man. And so then you have to seek out, compounding pharmacies and people that more specialize in that type of stuff to make sure that you get the correct dose of, TRT and that type of thing. And I haven't experienced symptoms enough that I don't think are normal with that are just normal with aging, that it's something that I really want to pursue at this point. So I don't know if I ever do one of those tests, I will definitely post about that and share and maybe go through that process of anything that if I end up doing any type of hormone replacement therapy or whatever. Sorry, I have like a hair on my face. Okay, so I don't have any false eyelashes on today. Just like normal makeup. But so I wanted to share a couple of things. So first of all, you get a lot of younger people trying to tell you that their tips for anti-aging, or, maybe they're like doing preventative stuff like Botox or injections or that type of thing. So that stuff scares me a lot because I've just seen some of the horror stories, and I know how I react to prescriptions and any type of medication. I don't take a lot of anything really except like vitamin D, which I actually have to take in a powder form because the capsules that are like oil based really make me break out. I get hives on my face really easily. My skin is really, really sensitive. And so over the last couple of years, I've really accumulated a good, like makeup routine, nighttime routine, and all this stuff that I think is been helpful. And, by all means, I'm like, I don't look 25 anymore. But when I was 35, in my 30s, I just feel like you don't really age that much in your 30s. The biggest change happens when the late, like 39 to 40. And then now I'm going to be 45 in April, April 22nd, Earth Day. And what I've noticed is there was a huge shift where all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, like I really need to start doing some of these daily preventative things that I've noticed make a difference in how young I look, like from actual day to day. And here's the bit on the hormones. So when I was 37, sorry, I'm like so flummy in the morning. Okay, when I was 37, I went to my doctor. I said, I'm still interested in like having children. I'd like to maybe try to have another child. I don't think I was in a relationship. And I was like thinking about this time crunch because I love being a mom. And, I thought, oh, I would like to have another baby still. And my doctor was like, oh, you're fine. Like you have time. He said, not knowing that I wasn't in a relationship, by the time you're like hormones start to plummet start going down in your 30s. By the time you're 38, he said, it actually decreases monthly, like hormones, instead of like a slow annual decrease. What you have going on is like things declining monthly. So usually by the age of like 39, your ability to, be fertile and everything else really decreases. So that was disheartening, but that wasn't really God's plan for me to have more children. Maybe I will do foster care or adopt someday, or just wait, 10 years for Anna to have grandchildren, since she wants to be a doctor. I'll be able to take care of her babies. So, whatever it is. But anyways, so I started really paying attention to the things that make me look older on a day-to-day basis. And that's what I want to share with you today. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a really simple nighttime routine, some of the things I do daytime, and then just like, a couple other things. So I'm going to start with, and some of these things are actually products that I'm sort of affiliated with. So please don't let that deter you. This is not a sell by any means, because you can find things off of Amazon and whatnot too. So you don't have to use my discount codes. Don't worry about that. But let me start with that. So Cozy Earth Bedding is a company that makes antimicrobial loungewear, bedding, sleepwear, that type of stuff. That got me really interested because they said they would send me, like, we've done different promotional type stuff. So I've been able to try their products. My code for that is Deborah50, and it's cozyearthbedding.com. But I also have gotten some pillowcases off of Amazon, which are antimicrobial, which I actually really like. They're silvery gray. But Cozy Earth Bedding sent me white pillowcases and sheets, and I use those on my bed. And I really like them. They're temperature controlled, sort of, so the bed stays cool. And then obviously it's supposed to deter bacteria, which I think is really important. I've always had really oily skin. Now that I'm getting older, and with the past couple of weeks here in Michigan, it has been so cold. It's like super dry. And that has made a huge difference on the impact of my skin as well. I noticed this several years ago when I was out in Las Vegas for the Olympia, because it's this dry heat. My skin was so dry. Like I just was like, oh my gosh, I could never live here, because I look like 5 years older than what just because my skin was like so dry on my face. So I have a humidifier in my room as well, but it's been like really hard to combat the last couple of weeks. It's been really tough. So then I start doing the other things that are important to me to try to combat. So first of all, like bedding, sleeping well, and having a clean, bacteria-free environment is definitely an element. And I'm going to say most of the stuff is just anecdotal. So take away whatever you want from it. So I use antimicrobial bedding. I have pajamas too that they sent me that I like, and I wear those as well. So that is about the bedding and stuff. But the biggest the biggest thing that I've noticed from one day to the next is sleep. So not getting enough sleep, I mean, over time will age you. If you want to listen to a podcast that's amazing about sleep, it's the Joe Rogan podcast with Matthew Walker. It will change your life about how important sleep is. I also want to get his book so I can read that. But anyways, sleep, like if I don't get enough sleep one night, the next day I look 10 years older, like bags, dry, wrinkles. It's ridiculous. So, if you can get a nap the next day for a couple of hours, essentially Matthew says that people need 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. And people that say they need less than that are just probably not functioning at proper levels. So make sure you get at least 7 hours of sleep. Like days that I've been able to sleep in, like on Saturday, I wake up and I'm like, I look 32 years old today, you know? So sleep is probably my number one. Getting enough sleep, especially like I said, if you're my age and you're fighting this looking older or younger from day to day, sleep is my number one thing. Okay. So my nighttime routine, when I was younger, a lot of times I would wear my makeup to bed. I would not even wash it off, which is ridiculous. So I always wash my makeup off. I use an oil-based soap, which I actually don't have with me, but using an oil-based soap, something that's really gentle, you know, wash it off with a washcloth. And then this is something I've been doing for a while. My skin is so sensitive. Like I really have bad reactions to a lot of lotions, face creams, and that type of thing. So what I have noticed works very well for me is olive oil. And I just have this is just, it's regular old olive oil. And I put that all over my face. I do use it as a body moisturizer as well when I get out of the shower. I love it too because we have bunnies, and if they lick me, then I know they're just, I mean, it's not like hopefully poisoning, you know, some poison animals. I run into dogs all day at work too. So anyways, I put olive oil, light coating of olive oil on my face. Then I take vitamin A and D cream, which is very greasy. And so if you have a significant other, I guess that would suck for them, but I don't, so I don't worry about it. And I tend to put that more on the under eye part, and any place where I have like acne scarring, it helps kind of plump things up. Also, when I don't have any hairs, I have like those silicone patches. Sometimes I will put those over areas of my skin that are just look kind of like they need plumpness, and you know, wear that overnight. So usually by the morning, I mean, it gets into my, you know, my pillow, and it does sort of come off. But if I just do the olive oil, it doesn't stay. The AD cream provides like this barrier that keeps things moisturized most all night long. Like I said, the last couple of weeks have been really, really tough because it's just freaking cold. But that's what I do. One product that I love, my friend Tara, and then this is going to sound like a plug as well, but so I've used Revlon Color Stay foundation for the longest time, and I really love it because it is waterproof and it stays on like throughout a workout and everything else. Covers really, really good. I have like some melasma and some discoloration on my face. It covers really, really good. But it was like drying my skin. And my friend Tara works for, excuse me, works for Beauty Counter. And she sends out samples whenever anybody wants samples. And I will link her in the description below, or you can find anybody that sells Beauty Counter. Beauty Counter is like clean makeup that doesn't have all of these chemicals that supposedly, I don't want to say supposedly, but a lot of chemicals have been linked to, you know, estrogen dominance. And if you ever read the book Estrogeneration, that will kind of tip you to, you know, some of the things, the products we use every day that are causing infertility and all this other hormone disruption. So, so Beauty Counter has all of these products that are healthier for men and women. And she sent out a product that's called Skin Twin, and I did end up purchasing it. And trust me, I am a frugal Dutch girl. I think this was around $40. I don't spend a lot of money on makeup. I use drugstore makeup. I get makeup from the dollar store. I think, you know, as far as what makeup looks like has a lot to do with how you apply it with brushes and whatnot. So I'm not really willing to pay huge amounts of money. But what I love about this, it does have hyaluronic acid and I forget something else in there that it's sort of plumping. I don't know if it has sunscreen. That was the other thing that I liked about the Revlon Color Stay too, that it has sunscreen in it. And I've always worn sunscreen on my face. I've always worn sunscreen on my face. One tip that I would say to you, if you are still young and like you go to the tanner or you tan, make sure you put sunscreen on your neck, because what happens is you start getting this, I can't see, like when you turn, you get like this, the turkey neck is what is beginning next. Like that's the next stage, the next stage of aging. So in there, I'm sure that there are procedures that people can do stuff about that, but you know, there hasn't been for a really long time. And it's definitely something like if your face looks young, you know, pulled, stretched, you know, people do like different stuff, but then your neck is like, you know, that looks really bad. So I would say make sure you don't put sunscreen just on your face, but put it on your neck as well. And then this is obviously, I'm just talking about aesthetic reasons. You know, obviously you want to cover yourself with sunscreen because skin cancer, but you also need vitamin D. So you want to have yourself exposed to some sunlight as well. So anyways, do whatever you want, but I would say for sure, sunscreen your neck. Don't burn that, because that skin is so delicate, just like your under eye skin, that, you know, you're gonna, it's gonna show up later for sure, especially when those hormones start dropping. So when I put my makeup on, I put some olive oil on after I get out of the shower, and I, and my neck and everything else. And I just kind of let it soak in. And then I use that foundation. I do use a little bit of my Revlon stuff still, because I have this discoloration along my jawline and it covers a little bit better. But I do feel like this is it's very plumping. It does provide this moisture. And then one of the products that I don't have with me, it's in the bathroom and I'm not going to go get it, is spray sunscreen, like a nice misting sunscreen. And I will spray that over my face, over my ears and my neck, and just kind of let it provides a light moisture and also sets my makeup. So, and then provides that sunscreen as well. So that is, you know, that is my, my day and my night. The other tip that I would say as you get older is to use makeup that complements you. Don't try to follow these trends too much, you know, with contouring. And, you know, if I were to put a whole bunch of makeup under my eyes when I smile, you would just see like freaking wrinkles, because it would just all pack in there. You can't do your makeup like the 20-year-olds or even the 30-year-olds. And I want to emphasize this again. When I was in my 30s, I look like I was in my 20s. And I don't really think, if you are good to yourself, that the aging process happens at that time. So I have thought about, you know, doing things like maybe some lip plumping or doing some Botox, but I just feel like I'm scared that I'm going to be the person that has an allergic reaction to something, and then, you know, I'm ruined. So it just scares me. Maybe at some point I would get some in my arm to test it out first, and then try. I don't know. But like I said, if I ever do anything like that, I'll share it. But stick with makeup that is like neutral colors. This is like one of my favorite palettes that I use. And I got it at a dollar store, but these are LA colors and you can actually get them online as well. Okay, so now let's talk about some internal things. Okay, the days that I feel like I look awful are usually the day after, you know, and I wake up, I haven't slept well. Part of the reason maybe I haven't slept well is because I've had junk food. And these are the kind of foods that really affect things. Obviously, like I would say packaged crap type stuff, but what I've really noticed is soda. I don't know if it's the carbonation. I don't know if it's, because if I drink soda, it would be like a diet Coke or something like that. I don't know why. It's like dries out my skin. So I try to stay away from those, but I do drink Bang energy drinks and I don't notice that with them. So, you know, I don't know what it is about the soda, but I just avoid it. It dries out my skin. Red dye, candy with red dye in it. I've had like any type of water, things that you would add to your water, like fruit punch packets, anything that has red dye in it. So it could be sugar-free, could be, red dye, it shows up in my face as drying wrinkle type stuff. So I avoid red dye. So crap food, soda, red dye. When do I look awesome? When I've had enough water. I've kind of been leading up to this. Water is huge. It helps keep yourself hydrated, obviously, which means your skin is also going to be hydrated. And then, fruits and vegetables, just the whole foods. Eating those provides a lot of antioxidants. I don't know, honestly, the whole science behind it, but I do know if I eat a lot more fruits and vegetables, it shows up on my skin as just looking brighter and healthier. So that's kind of my simplistic way of motivation, like eat healthy, because when you eat junk food, it really does show up on your skin. And like I said, maybe not when you're younger, but definitely when you're my age, 24 hours can make a difference in how your skin looks. Okay. And then the last thing, which is, I know, really tough because gosh, it's trendy, is alcohol. Excuse me. Okay. So I was a drinker for a little while when I was younger, my early 20s. Then I stopped drinking, mostly because we were trying to get pregnant. Then I started drinking again when we were going through our divorce. If I didn't have Anna, I was drinking like excessively, drinking, partying. It was not a good time in my life. And I noticed, like, if I wake up in the morning, even if I had water, like even if you match water for alcohol, it's not as bad when you're younger, but at my age now, and I've noticed this too, smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol are the two fastest agers of people. And like I said, I don't know the other variables of somebody's lifestyle, but I do know when I meet people, I can usually tell if they're over 40, if they're big like wine drinkers or cigarette smokers. And I was a cigarette smoker for 10 years plus a little bit, because I smoked again when we were going through our divorce. I started and then I just quit cold turkey. So yeah, like I feel like alcohol is the worst. And people who are over 40 who drink a lot of alcohol have this like edema where it's like puffy under their skin. You can see like they have like bigger cheeks, but the skin is also very dry and wrinkled on top. It's like, it's just the worst. And the last time I drank was a couple of months ago when I had a girlfriend over after like quarantine, and had some like vodka. We had some, I don't know what it was, some sort of vodka. And yeah, I immediately, just like within a couple of hours, noticed like this drying around my eyes, wrinkling around my eyes, you know. And then obviously you drink water to rehydrate. But for me, alcohol is like the biggest thing where it's easier for me to say no to. Like I have no desire. It's such a temporary feel good, taste good, whatever you like it for. Because honestly, I like a good micro beer as well. Like it's not like I don't enjoy alcohol. I just do not enjoy the repercussions of it, which means like the next day I usually have a shitty workout if I'm going to work out, or I don't even work out. Takes like 3 days to recover, like to get out of your system. You know, I just think alcohol is like the number one thing I would say, like, don't do that. Don't get into drinking like the wine trend and everything else as you get older, because it really, really ages you. It just, I feel like it really expedites that, that aging. So, I think that's it. I think that's everything. Oh, last thing. This is super weird and it's just completely anecdotal. I do not have a code for this, but this is CBD oil. So what I have noticed, this is kind of a nice little remedy for, well, one, this is great for menstrual cramps. I'm allergic to NSAIDs, ibuprofen and all of those. So I can't take anything for like pain management or anti-inflammatories. That's what I'm allergic to. So, and aspirin. But I have noticed that taking CBD oil, I usually do 2 or 3 drops every few hours, like the first couple of days of my period, and really helps. I don't know if it's because it's calming or what, but I have noticed on mornings when I wake up and I think like, oh, I look like I haven't got enough sleep. If I do take a couple of drops of CBD oil, I don't know if it just because it calms me all around, so it kind of relaxes the skin as well. I don't really have an explanation for it, but I do feel like CBD oil does really help in sort of an anti-aging type of way. This one is from Herbstrong, and I have tried a couple of different brands. I got one off of Amazon too that I kind of like, and I'm going to link my Amazon. It's an Amazon influencer program, which the only reason I signed up for that was because if I ever had any products that I wanted like clients to see, then they could go and find them and then order them. I honestly don't even know how it works. I'm supposed to get some sort of, I'll look into it. But anyways, I'll link that below, and that CBD oil is on there as well. I like that one okay, but I like this one a lot, and I've gone back to it. And usually when you order a code, something will pop up where you can buy a second bottle for half off. It'll be like, don't go, like buy this one too. And you know, and usually I do. I have fallen for it. Like it'll show up every time. So if you want to just try it and then you like it, the next time you order it, the same code will pop up. So you don't have to do it the first time. Just buy the first bottle. And you could probably message the company on Instagram, see if you can get like a 10 or 15% off code or something. They could probably send you something. I've done that with companies before if I can't find like a person who has an affiliate code. So, but you know, that's it. So, and then obviously exercise. I do feel like too, exercise helps if you're having any type of fluid retention or it kind of like clears things out. So it's not sexy. There's nothing super crazy that I'm telling you. The main things are sleep. And then I would say managing stress as well, diet, exercise, all the things you know you're supposed to do anyways. But like I said, it really catches up with you on a day-to-day basis once you get into your 40s, well into your 40s, I would say. Because even like 40, 41, I was like, doing okay. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I really need to start incorporating some things in order to make this work. So anyways, you know, and then bathe yourself in grease and oil to keep things moisturized. Yeah, those are my tips for you. So if there's anything else that, you know, if I end up doing, you know, any type of skin treatment or injections or anything like that, I'll film it. I'll keep you posted. I'll be honest about it. But like my daughter always says, she's like, I think a lot of that stuff looks weird. And I'll have to agree. Like, I know there are people that do stuff well or like it's fine. But I know, like, if I looked at my face and I thought something looked really different because, you know, of Botox or some sort of injection, I wouldn't feel better about myself. I'd feel really bad. So I think, you know, I'm just going to try to fight this and age gracefully. And, you know, I mean, like I said, if I'm 45, if I look 40, if I still like 5 years younger than what I'm supposed to, it's fine. This is you know, not everything is about looks. I know we can get that perception from especially things like social media, that everything is about your appearance, but it's not. You know, you got to try to be a good person as well. So, but if you, you know, hopefully this is helpful. If it's helpful, great. If it's not, you know, like I said, this is purely anecdotal. This is what I have noticed. So I try to be consistent with, you know, these things that I know are going to make me look good. Because if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you're more productive, I think. And then you're able to do more and help more people. And it's a nice little trickle down effect. So, you know, and I would say pick your poison. Whatever you do is your choice. It's kind of like anything. It's like recycling, you know, you can recycle stuff, and then maybe you have a big house that uses up a lot of energy, or maybe you have, you know what I mean? Like you get to decide. It's your life. And, you know, if you want to do Botox and lip injections and drink your wine, that's also your choice. So this is just me telling you what I'm doing, what has been working for me, and yeah, you can take it or leave it. So anyways, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you like it, like it. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you don't, stay tuned because there's always more stuff coming. Have a great day.